how have you noticed that you've changed since you stopped drinking?
I think clear. I don't. I used to be. I don't give a fuckish. You know what I mean? And now I'm not that. I care about every little thing and person in my life now.
Hmm. And to that point on I've changed, you also talk about your sister's passing, obviously a very traumatic situation for you. Uh, so I think I've changed is one of the more powerful, personal, reflective, introspective songs on Season of the Sickness 2
Yeah, I
Kevlar.
try to get at least one on there. Like you notice with Strange, I had Meat. You know what I mean? I try to get one on each album
And why is that important to you?
to let people know that I ain't just about ripping, guts all the time. You know what I mean? I'm a regular person too, so
Yeah.
I got problems like all of y'all. I'm just the same as everybody who buys my album.
And why did with your sister, why did you want to detail that on I've changed?
Because dude just got out. He got out, and I just want to send a little message that we're still thinking about that situation.
Hmm. Okay.
He got out about a year and a half ago, 2 years though. But I started the album a year ago, so I just wanted to send that message.
Gotcha. Okay. And then Get 'em, another track on Season of Sickness 2 Kevlar's, one of my favorites. And that one, I like the 1, 2, 3, 4 thing you had in there. So that's another stylistic thing, another creative way to do things. And obviously, other people have done similar types of things before. So when you're writing something like that, that's a little more sing-songy in a sense, but then it turns dark like almost instantly. Like
Yeah.
what is that when you're writing it or even conceiving it? How does that affect you as a writer, as a creative person?
Well, first of all, that rhyme started off the dome. I didn't even write it. And after a couple lines, I couldn't keep going. So I started writing it after that. So I do want to get that out there. But what's the rest of your question?
But just like something that's kind of sing-songy, melodic, or whatever, has a lighter feel, but then it turns dark real quick. Like, how does
Oh,
that?
shock value. Shock value. I
Hmm.
like shock value. And people kind of expect me to be dark too. So you know how you see those scary movies with the beautiful music and then all of a sudden it goes dark. I like doing stuff like that. Just inside of a verse to make a song inside of a song type of thing.
Hmm. Yeah, because there is a fair amount of that throughout Kevlar, and I think that was to me one of the more interesting examples of it. So,
I
uh,
try, but I break my neck to get like shock value inside of verses
yeah.
because if you these kids, I'm starting to make shorter songs now, and some don't have hooks now because it's like they just want to hear that now. I'm trying to stay up, you know what I mean? So, and being out the game this long too, I'm trying to still figure out the route and where to go to at least as an old school guy, still be relevant.
Well, also to that point, throughout Season of the Sickness 2 Kevlar, one of the things I enjoyed was that a lot of the songs, one, they're shorter, but two, some of them don't have the choruses. It's just the beat writing, or you might say the title of the song once or twice. And that reminded me a lot of what we used to get in the 80s as far
Yes,
as rap. So,
yes.
so what made you want to do that creatively as the producer?
I want to. When I've been seeing all this new rap and all this and how they're all doing it, and I mean they're doing good. They're selling. They're getting streams or whatever. So I'm not knocking it. But my whole thing is getting rap, and a lot of other rappers that I know feel like this too. Getting rap back to the essence of what it was. You know what I mean? And I know not one person could do it, but I just want to show you don't have to have a hook and repeat the hook, repeat the hook, repeat the hook, all the time, every song. I mean, everything doesn't have to, a song is what you create. It's not, I don't know, mainstream people think this way, but a song is what you create. An album is what you create. I always try to create something that you can listen to all the way through. And hooks, I had hooks on some of the songs on the albums, but I just felt like it was repetitive and it wasn't creative.
Yeah.
So when I left the one words in, it sounded decent enough.
I do miss it because it reminds me of the 80s and a lot of the great songs from that era. And it
Yeah,
also reminds me of when things were, for lack of a better way to put it off the top of my head, creative in the sense that it wasn't always so formulaic of like, oh, it's going to be
yeah.
the verse is this long and then the chorus is this long and then there comes another verse and then there's a
Like you can almost tell what the song's gonna do. Yeah,
yeah. So I enjoy the unexpectedness that you provide on Season of the Sickness 2 Kevlar because it reminds me of that type of feel from the 80s and even into the early 90s where it wasn't, where you'd have Public Enemy or De La Soul or Schoolie D or these different people would have songs that were super short, or they'd have a skit, or LL would have a song, Fast Peg, on Walking with the Panthers, less than 2 minutes. It's like real shorts. That's a Sonic
yeah,
did the same thing. A lot of people did.
yeah,
So I just always appreciated that because it provided a unconventionalness to their projects. Ice Cube, of course, did it. So
yep, yep. He
it's a
sure
lot
did.
of people. It's a lot of people. Now on Gangster, you have G-Macc on there, and that one is you don't have a ton of collaborations on Kevlar, so fans that want to hear Brotha Lynch are gonna definitely hear it. But you did have a couple. So how and why with Gangster did you want G-Macc on there?
G-Macc is like one of my top three favorite rappers. Period. Um, I had a lot of people send some verses. There's some mad people at me right now. So it was supposed to have more features, but they just didn't fit where I was going with the album, and I hope they get that. I'm sorry, but it's my album. So, but G-Macc is one of my top three rappers favorite. I always have to get him, whether it's good or bad. He's the guy I listen to before I write. You know what I mean? One of the guys, Lil Wayne being the other. You know what I mean? Eminem being the other. Depending on what mood I'm in, and believe it or not, Twisted Insane. I listen to before I write. And rappers like that and Crooked Eye. I listen to rappers like that before I write. Or before I get into the zone to write, not before every time before I write, but just before I get into that zone, like I'm about to start working. I'll get high and listen to some, because I don't listen to rap music. You know what I mean? Not the latest stuff, and I know that's bad, but I mean I've heard groups like Horseshoe Gang and stuff like that. I like them, but I think rap is really struggling right now. It seemed like after that 50-year rap thing that everybody made such a big deal of last year, rap is weird now, and plus it's a million rappers out there, so it's like you're competing with all this. You know what I mean? So if that answers your question.
Yeah. Well, with G-Macc, because that leads me to a few questions, but with G-Macc and a few of the other people you named, if you could briefly just say like what is it? Like G-Macc, I like this. Lil Wayne, I like this. Eminem, I like this. Like Twisted Insane, I like this.
G-Macc, I like his wordplay, and I like how he does a lot of pauses and does normal stuff in his rhymes, like his "Hey man, turn that light off," and then he'll keep rhyming and stuff like that. He does stuff like that. Wayne, I like his metaphors and the different patterns that he uses. Like his pattern ain't 1 2 3 4 rhyme, 1 2 3 4 rhyme. His will be 1 2 3 4 rhyme, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 10 11 12 rhyme, and then rhyme right after that. So he has like different patterns that I enjoy. And Crooked Eye, his wordplay mostly.
Mm.
So that's those rappers is what amps me up about it.
And then what?
G-Macc is also sick. He does sick stuff like me too. So that reminds me of where I need to be.
And then Eminem and Twisted Insane.
Eminem, obviously wordplay. And he could be sick in the head sometimes too. And he says a lot of funny stuff. I say funny stuff, but in a dark way. He says funny stuff, period. So that kind of amps me up about him. Plus, he cares about his lyrics. I love rappers who care about their spit.
And what about Twisted Insane?
Twisted Insane